Imagine a simple kitchen ingredient that can soothe your aches, make your home sparkle, and even avert an emergency. It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. For decades, you might have only used baking soda for the occasional recipe or to deodorize the fridge. But today, you're about to discover 12 powerful baking soda uses that you'll wish you'd known sooner. One of them could ease years-old pains, and another might literally save your home from a fire. Sounds crazy, right? Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll never look at that little orange box the same way again. Let's start with something many seniors struggle with: itchy, irritated skin. As we get older, our skin tends to become drier and more sensitive. Have you ever experienced that relentless itch on your back or legs, especially during winter? Here's where baking soda steps in as a soothing hero. A warm baking soda bath can offer almost instant relief. Just sprinkle about a quarter cup of baking soda into a tub of lukewarm water and soak for 15 minutes. It's amazingly effective for calming down itchy skin and even minor rashes. I remember one particularly dry winter when my arms were constantly itchy. A friend recommended a baking soda bath. I was skeptical, but after a few soaks, the itchiness practically vanished. But here's what most people don't realize: the temperature of the water matters. Use lukewarm, not hot, water. Hot water can dry your skin out more and defeat the purpose. After soaking, just gently pat yourself dry. No harsh towel rubbing. You'll likely step out feeling the kind of relief you wish you'd discovered ages ago. Dermatologists and even the National Eczema Association suggest this simple remedy for a reason. It works, and it's something you can do right at home without any fancy products. Now let's move a little further down, to your feet. If you've spent years on your feet or suffer from aches and odor, baking soda is about to become your best friend. A baking soda foot soak is an old-fashioned trick that works wonders. Fill a basin with warm water and add a few tablespoons of baking soda. Then just sit back and let your feet soak for about 15 minutes. What does this do? For starters, it helps neutralize foot odor by killing bacteria and fungus. No more worry about embarrassing smells when you kick off your shoes. It also softens rough calluses and corns. If you've got thick skin buildup or cracked heels, you'll notice them becoming smoother after a few soaks. My grandmother swore by this after a long day, and she wasn't alone. Plenty of folks find that a nightly baking soda soak leaves their feet feeling refreshed, like they've been to a spa. The next part is crucial. After soaking, give your feet a gentle scrub with a washcloth or soft brush, then dry them thoroughly, especially between the toes. Why is that important? Because leaving moisture can invite fungus, the very thing we're trying to combat. Do this regularly, and not only will your feet feel better, you might even find yourself moving around with a little more spring in your step, free from some of the pain and stiffness that used to bother you. Speaking of things that bother us as we age, how about that pesky heartburn or indigestion after a hearty meal? You know the feeling, that burning in your chest when stomach acid creeps up where it doesn't belong. It can turn a lovely dinner into a night of discomfort. Well, one of baking soda's most famous uses is as a natural antacid. Easing heartburn is as simple as mixing half a teaspoon of baking soda and half a glass of water and drinking it. This concoction can neutralize excess stomach acid in minutes. In fact, you might remember your parents or grandparents doing this. It's a remedy that's been passed down through generations. And there's science behind it. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate, which is actually used in some over-the-counter antacid tablets. So, taking it in water is doing virtually the same thing those tablets do, but at a fraction of the cost. Now, here's what most people don't realize about this trick. You have to use the right amount and not overdo it. A little provides relief, but taking too much baking soda or doing it too often can cause your stomach to produce more acid later, or even raise your blood pressure due to the sodium. You definitely don't want to rely on this every day. Think of it as an occasional quick fix for those unexpected flare-ups. And if you're on a low-sodium diet or have certain health conditions, it's wise to check with a doctor first. But for those times when you're in a pinch and reach for this remedy, you'll be amazed at how fast that uncomfortable burn settles down. It's like putting out a small fire in your stomach. Gentle, immediate relief. And that's not the only internal discomfort baking soda can tackle. Let's discuss something a bit personal but very common, especially for senior women. Urinary tract discomfort, like when you feel a UTI coming on. The burning, the constant urge to go. It's miserable. Now, baking soda is not a cure for infections, let's be clear. But if you ever find yourself struggling with that burning sensation and you can't get to the doctor immediately, a little baking soda might help ease the pain. Reducing UTI discomfort is another traditional use. The idea is simple. Mix about half a teaspoon of baking soda in a glass of water and drink it on an empty stomach. Baking soda makes the urine less acidic, which can take some of the stinging pain out of urination when you have a UTI. I had a neighbor who used to swear by this trick whenever she had mild symptoms. She said it made the difference between being stuck in agony and being able to go about her day until she got proper treatment. Now, a critical warning. This doesn't kill bacteria or fix the infection. It only buys you comfort. You still need proper treatment, so think of this as just a stopgap measure until you see the doctor. And only use it sparingly. But when used wisely, this little hack can feel like a lifesaver on a weekend when the clinic is closed and you're desperate for some relief. So far, we've focused on body comforts, but what about taking care of those pearly whites? As we age, dental care and keeping our dentures or teeth clean becomes a big part of daily life. It might surprise you to learn that baking soda is a star player here too. Cleaning dentures and whitening teeth can be done with baking soda. If you have dentures, you can dissolve a couple of teaspoons of baking soda in a bowl of warm water and soak your dentures in it. This helps loosen stains and neutralize odors, keeping them fresh. For natural teeth, some people gently brush with a pinch of baking soda on their toothbrush, along with toothpaste. It acts as a mild abrasive to help lift stains from coffee, tea, or years of smoking. You might find your teeth looking a bit brighter. In fact, if you check some toothpaste tubes, you'll see sodium bicarbonate on the ingredient list. That's baking soda working to whiten your smile. But here's the key: gentle does it. Baking soda is mildly abrasive, which is how it scrubs off stains, but you don't want to scrub your teeth or dentures too hard with it. Overdoing it could wear down enamel or scratch denture surfaces. So use a soft brush and be gentle, maybe once or twice a week. Not every day on your natural teeth. Also, if you have dentures with a soft lining, stick to soaking rather than scrubbing. Still, this is one of those tips that can save you money on expensive denture cleaners or whitening products. And you'll wish you'd tried it earlier when you see how clean and odor-free everything feels. It's like giving your mouth a fresh start. We've talked about taking care of ourselves. Now let's look at how baking soda can take care of our home. Over the years, you might have tried every cleaning product under the sun, from bleach to fancy sprays. But one of the most powerful household cleaners is sitting right in your pantry. Yes, baking soda can make your home sparkle. Cleaning surfaces with baking soda is almost unbelievably effective. Got a grimy kitchen sink or a stained countertop? Sprinkle some baking soda on a damp sponge and gently scrub. It cuts through grease and grime without those harsh chemicals that make you cough or irritate your skin. It even works to remove tough stains in coffee mugs or the oven. Just make a paste, spread it on the grime, let it sit for a while, then wipe. Baked-on food and stains come off with far less scrubbing than you'd expect. One important tip: for tough jobs, let the baking soda paste sit for 10-15 minutes before scrubbing. That gives it time to break down stains. And be sure to rinse the surface well afterwards with clean water, because a white powdery residue isn't what you want left behind. When you see how easily baking soda can lift dirt, you'll shake your head wondering why you spent so much on specialty cleaners all these years. Now, a clean home isn't just about dirt and stains. It's also about smells. And as we get older, we become pretty sensitive to odors. We want our living spaces smelling fresh and welcoming. Baking soda shines here as a natural deodorizer. You probably know the classic trick of putting an open box of baking soda in the fridge to soak up food smells. But deodorizing with baking soda goes way beyond the fridge. Have a musty closet or a smelly shoe rack? Place a small bowl of baking soda, or even make a little sachet of it, and it will absorb the odors like magic. You can sprinkle baking soda on carpets or rugs, let it sit for 15 minutes, and then vacuum it up. Bye-bye pet odors, or that mysterious musty smell. The same goes for upholstery. A light dusting on the couch? Wait a bit, then vacuum. I helped a retired neighbor refresh her living room this way once. She was astonished that the dog smell that had lingered in her sofa for years was virtually gone. The trick most people miss is giving the baking soda enough time to work. If you sprinkle it and vacuum immediately, you won't get the full effect. Let it sit and do its job. And here's an extra tip. You can even deodorize your laundry with it. If you have clothes or towels that have a persistent odor, like mildew or sweat, adding half a cup of baking soda to the wash can neutralize those smells. It also softens the water, which can make your detergent work better. So you're not only getting rid of bad smells, you might notice your laundry coming out cleaner and softer. All this without any perfumes or chemicals, just the pure, clean power of baking soda. Once you experience a home that simply smells clean instead of perfumed, you'll wonder why you didn't start using baking soda for this ages ago. While we're on the topic of home care, let's tackle one of the most annoying household problems: a clogged or slow drain. Over years, sinks and showers inevitably get gunked up with soap residue, hair, and who knows what. Instead of reaching for a harsh drain cleaner that can be dangerous, and let's face it, those chemicals are nasty and can eat away at pipes, you can use baking soda and its trusty sidekick, vinegar, to safely unclog a drain. It's like a little science experiment that clears your pipes. Here's how. Take about half a cup of baking soda and pour it down the drain. Then, take half a cup of plain white vinegar and pour that in after the baking soda. Now step back and watch the fizzing action. It's kind of fun, actually, like being a kid in chemistry class. The fizz means it's working. The chemical reaction will loosen up the grime in the pipe. One thing that's crucial here is to immediately cover the drain with a plug or rag after pouring the vinegar. Why? Because that forces the fizzy action downward into the clog, instead of just bubbling up out of the drain. Let it fizz and do its thing for about 15 minutes. During that time, you can boil a kettle of water. After 15 minutes, flush the drain with the boiling water. In many cases, whatever was blocking your pipe will wash away. I've done this for my bathroom sink when it was draining slowly, and, lo and behold, it cleared the pipe and the water flowed freely again. If your clog is really stubborn, you might need to repeat it, or you might still have to use a mechanical snake or call a plumber. But 9 times out of 10, this gentle method does the trick, and you'll be relieved you didn't have to mess with the toxic stuff. Plus, as a bonus, it leaves the drain smelling fresher too, since baking soda neutralizes odors there as well. We've cleaned and freshened up just about everything, but let's switch gears to something more urgent: first aid and safety. Baking soda in your house isn't just for comfort and cleaning. It can literally be a lifesaver in emergencies. Remember that story we touched on earlier about something that could save your home from a fire? Let's talk about that. If you ever have a small grease fire in your kitchen, for example, a pan of oil catches fire on the stove, baking soda can extinguish it quickly. Grease fires are one of those terrifying moments where every second counts, and using water on a grease fire is extremely dangerous. It can make the fire explode and spread. But throwing baking soda on the flames smothers them. Why? Because when baking soda heats up, it releases carbon dioxide, which helps starve the fire of oxygen. It's the same principle behind some fire extinguishers that actually contain sodium bicarbonate. Now, I hope you never have to use this tip, but it's something most people don't realize until it's too late. A close friend of mine once nearly set her kitchen ablaze when a frying pan caught fire. She panicked and almost reached for water, which would have been disastrous. Fortunately, her husband remembered an old trick, grabbed the box of baking soda from the pantry, and dumped it on the flames. Poof! Fire out. The damage was limited to a charred pan and a bit of a mess on the stove, but they avoided what could have been a much larger disaster. After hearing their story, I now keep a box of baking soda within arm's reach of the stove at all times, just as a precaution. It's a simple thing that gives you huge peace of mind. A word of caution: use baking soda for small, contained fires only, like a pan fire. If a fire is growing or spreading, you need to get out and call emergency services. But for those little flare-ups, baking soda can be a hero. It's a tip you'll be glad to know, even if you never end up needing it. Baking soda's first aid talents don't end with fire. It's also great for those minor mishaps like insect bites, stings, or sunburns that can really bug you. No pun intended. If a mosquito has turned your ankle into an itchy mess, or a bee sting is throbbing, baking soda can bring relief. Soothing bug bites is as easy as making a paste with baking soda and a little water. Apply that paste to the bite or sting and let it sit for a while before gently washing it off. Baking soda helps neutralize the venom and reduce inflammation, which means less itching and pain. It's the same idea with mild sunburn or heat rash. A cool bath with baking soda added, about half a cup in a tub of cool water, or gently dabbing a baking soda solution on the sunburn can take out some of the sting. I've used a baking soda paste on a wasp sting before, and I was surprised at how quickly the burning pain died down. Here's something most people overlook. When you use a baking soda paste on your skin, don't rub it in like a lotion. Just apply it and leave it be for a bit. Let it dry if you can, then rinse. Rubbing might irritate the skin more. And of course, if you have a serious allergic reaction or a very severe sting, you need medical attention. But for those everyday bug bites that just itch like crazy, baking soda is a simple remedy that's probably sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. It's much like those calamine lotions or creams in effect, but you didn't have to run to the pharmacy for it. The next time you're gardening or sitting on the porch and a mosquito feasts on you, you'll know exactly what to do without scratching yourself raw. While we're in the realm of first aid, here's a neat little trick for a situation everyone hates: getting a splinter. You might wonder, what can baking soda do for a splinter? Well, if you have a tiny fragment of wood or glass stuck in your skin that you just can't get out with tweezers, baking soda can help draw out a splinter painlessly. Mix a small amount of baking soda with water to create a thick paste, about the consistency of toothpaste. Apply a blob of this paste right over the splinter and cover it with a bandage. Then leave it alone for a few hours, or ideally overnight. Baking soda will cause the skin to swell just a little bit around the splinter, and often this gentle pressure actually pushes the splinter to the surface. When you remove the bandage, you might find the splinter has come out enough that you can just wipe it away, or easily grab it with tweezers. It's a lot less traumatic than digging into your skin with a needle. Just remember, clean the area well before and after, and put a clean bandage on once the splinter's out to keep the area protected. This method might not make you wish you knew it earlier until the day you really need it, and then you'll be thrilled you did. It turns a frustrating, painful ordeal into a simple fix. Now I've saved one of the most fascinating uses for last. Baking soda doesn't just help with everyday problems. It's being studied for serious health conditions too. It sounds almost like science fiction. Scientists have discovered that when people drink a small amount of baking soda in water daily, it can signal the body to reduce inflammation. Why is that important? Because chronic inflammation is at the root of many issues like rheumatoid arthritis. In one study, A daily dose of baking soda actually shifted the immune system into a calmer, anti-inflammatory state. Imagine that. A cheap, common substance helping to tell the body to ease up on attacking itself. And that's not all. Doctors sometimes prescribe baking soda, in medical form, to patients with kidney disease. It helps neutralize excess acid in the blood. Clinical trials have shown that a daily small dose can slow down kidney decline. By reducing acidity, it protects the bones and muscles from breakdown and eases the load on the kidneys. Who would have thought? Now, to be clear, if you're generally healthy, you shouldn't start gulping baking soda every day without medical advice. Too much can cause other issues. But the fact that something so simple could have such powerful effects on our health is incredibly eye-opening. It challenges the assumption that only expensive medicines can help serious conditions. Learning about this makes you look at that humble box of baking soda in a whole new light. We've explored a dozen different uses today, from soothing itchy skin and settling an upset stomach to cleaning your home and even supporting your health. It makes you wonder, what other ordinary item in your home might be hiding extraordinary powers, just waiting to be discovered?